Now, the work of our first guest this evening has been described as a multitude of ideas structured like atoms, clashing and smashing, causing poetry to happen.
His new piece of work is a multi-layered piece of writing, addressing his views on society, the role and responsibility of artists like himself, as well as his own spirituality. This is Nat Nye with Poetic Temple.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. The sun ignite my soul, I'm charged. The day is a feast and I'm ready to eat. But why am I not tired? Artists work 24/7. I use sleep as an opportunity to astral body travel through Stargate portals. Waking up in the middle of the night to write the scenes I've seen in my dreams. I go deep. Like a submarine, my purpose is to dive below the surface. To be specific, the great depths of the Atlantic is where I spend my dream time, studying the remnants of Atlantis. But before I go further, let me explain why I don't have materialistic visions of popping Dom Perignon and using women's as champagne glasses. I've been past this since the feeling of fasting grasped me, left me empty, open with a black hole within my insides when I tried to do a 9 to 5, get drunk on a Friday night and live a generic life. Listen, we are all here for a greater purpose, so I'll leave it there.
Good evening, this is Nat Nye. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, pleasure.
Thank you so much. I mean, that was really moving. And it's called Poetic Temple, which indicates there's some sort of spirituality element to this. And is that something that derives from yourself?
Yeah, definitely. It derives from myself. I believe that poetry is entwined with spirituality, and the reason why I call it Poetic Temple is about, you know, like, if you relate that to the Shaolin Temple, the temples where your mind is, you can be free to explore yourself. And this is what I do with poetry, explore myself and the outer world. So there's a line where I explain, you know, we're exploring the inner and outer worlds.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Knowledge, exploration.
Now, you used to be a stage theatrical performer, and in your own words, you wanted to be a master of your own words, and that's why you left stage performance. So what does that mean? What do you mean by master of your own words?
So essentially, because of the politics in acting, and anything else, I was playing roles that I wasn't really necessarily happy with. So poetry was a way that I could express myself in a creative way without losing out on that drive, that passion. So, yeah, essentially I was like, yeah, I need to be the master of my own words rather than of a director or scriptwriter that dictates what you
So would you say
play.
poetry sort of set you free from something that was quite restrictive in acting?
Yeah. In just in that context alone, because acting is a great thing as well. But for me, definitely
it's about the words
set
and
me
writing
free.
your own words.
No, so you've been performing poetry since 2009.
Yeah,
you clearly seem to be in your comfort zone right now, in the whole poetry kind of sector, field, industry, whatever you want to call it.
Definitely. This is, like, you know, we have our calling, a sense of purpose. And like I said, this is my way of expressing. There's a lot of things that happen in the world right now. And to put it in a creative way that can connect with people. Because sometimes you may sit down and debate and it doesn't really connect. And when you're using the poetry, you know, with metaphors and the literary techniques, you can connect the subconscious and the conscious realm together. So somebody might be like, oh yeah, I feel what you're saying. I'm like, well, I told you this before, you know?
And do you ever find that kind of the stage theatrical aspect comes into you? I mean, you're quite, like, say, even here, you're very, there's a lot of movement. You love moving. I can see the theatrical side too. It's very natural, right?
Yeah, exactly. I can't help but be this way. So if I wasn't doing that, I'd be depressed. I would be, like...
Now, I want to go back to the way we introduced you, because we mentioned that your work is described as a multitude of ideas structured like atoms, clashing and smashing, causing the creation of poetry to happen. You also say this is a process of decoding the matrix. It's a very deep process, it appears to be, for you.
Yeah. Essentially, the way I see things is, like the matrix, you see the numbers.
Yeah.
So I've got to a level, basically, in poetry where everything is multi-layered. So in one poem, I try to put science in there, astrology, spirituality, my views on society, certain roles, and so you have the general theme, then all of these things will be slipped in there, which you have a multi-layered piece. So that's why I come with the atoms clashing and smashing, because it's structured like atoms, and it comes metaphor and puns and all of those literary techniques.
And I'm just thinking about the poem that you recite, the Poetic Temple, because that obviously discusses the role of artists and whichever medium that may be. And I guess that must be a really important issue for you to address, right?
Yeah, I believe it's essential. You know, like the artist has a very important role in this world. And as a black person, I can see the detrimental effects of having certain role models, because that's who we see, you know, people on TV, automatically, that's who I want to be when you're young. And when you have people that are not really doing this thing for the right reasons, which is your purpose, greater, the higher, you know, then you will lead people astray if you're telling that materialism is the way to go. And you lead, so I would say the role of the artist is imperative. It's not a joke, and you shouldn't do it for money and for material gains.
Yeah.
Now, just let our viewers know if they want to get a hold of your work, how would they do that? It's on SoundCloud, is that right?
You are the best. Yes. SoundCloud.
We try.
SoundCloud, YouTube, but more's coming. Because digitally I've not really been on point, even though I refer to the Matrix. I'm more, if you see me, I'm here, then we express. But yeah, Twitter at Nat Nye. Nat Nye, basically everywhere, Facebook.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. So extremely interesting speaking to you, and hopefully we'll hear a bit more about the wonderful work that you're doing. But it's time now to go for a break. There's a go grab.